then I saw that you had gotten a text from Kobe that morning. Sharif had gotten one. How have you been over the last 48 hours, man?
Well, as you know, it's already been the last couple months been really tough. Lost my little sister. Haven't been sleeping. Haven't been doing the normal things I usually do. I work, we laugh, we kid, we joke. When I get back home and look at reality and say she's gone, it just hurts. So the other day I'm downstairs working out with my son Shaq and my nephew Columbus. And my other nephew comes in crying and he shows me his phone. And I snapped at him. I said, man, get that out of my face. Just get it away from me. You know, we live in a world where anything could be photoshopped, anything could be hoaxed. I didn't want to believe it. And then I got the call from you, Charles, Kenny, everybody called me. And then we found out it was confirmed. And haven't felt the pain that sharp in a while. 47 years old, lost two grandmothers, lost a Sarge, lost my sister, and now I lost a little brother. Our names will be attached together for what we did. People always ask about our relationship, and I tell them it's just like me and Charles. You got two strong-minded people that are going to get it done their way. They're going to say certain things. The respect will never be lost. But when it comes to be inside the lines and win, that's what me and him, that's what we did. That's what me and Charles, that's what we do. It was sort of like a triple stabbing to the heart, because after you cry and wonder about that, then I get back on the internet, Rick Fox is on the plane. So now I'm sick even more. I'm calling Rick, he's not answering. So now I'm like, what's going on? And then the final blow, his lovely daughter was with him on the helicopter. You know, every time I saw his lovely wife and his kids, same thing I do with Kenny's kids and D-Wade's kids. Hi, my name is Uncle Shaq. I don't know if they know me as a basketball player. It doesn't matter. Hi, I'm Uncle Shaq. I try to make him laugh. And he would do the same thing. Sharif called me devastated and said, Kobe, just text me to check and see how he's doing. And he used to do that from time to time. You know, it just makes me think that in life, sometimes instead of holding back certain things, we should just do.
D-Wade.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay, go.
We up here, we work a lot. And I think a lot of times we take stuff for granted. Like, I don't talk to you guys as much as I need to. The fact that we're not going to be able to joke at his Hall of Fame ceremony. We're not going to be able to say, hi, I got 5, you got 4. The fact that we're not going to be able to say, if we would stay together, we could have got 10. Those are the things that you can't get back. And with the loss of my father, my sister, and my thing, that's the only thing I wish I could just say something to him again. Last time I talked to him was when we were here and I asked him to give 50 and he got 60. It's the last time I spoke to him. And I just wish I could have, you know, so it definitely changes me. I have to, because I work a lot. You guys know what I do. I work probably more than the average guy, but I just really have to now just take time and just call and say, I love you. Rick Fox finally called me and said, man, I love you. B. Shaw called me. So I'm going to try to do a better job of just reaching out and just talking to the people. rather than always procrastinating, because you never know. Life is too short. I could never imagine nothing like this. I was thinking the other day, I've never seen anything like this. All the basketball idols that I grew up, I see them. They're old. Like I used to be at home when you came to interview me, Ernie. I used to watch the great mile round and rebound. Now I'm working with him. I used to want to be Dr. J. He used to live next door to my mother in Orlando. My father used to tell me about the three great big men. I met them. I seen them. And the fact that we lost probably the world's greatest Laker, world's greatest basketball player. It's just, listen, people are going to say, take your time and get better, but it's going to be hard for me. I already don't sleep anyway, so. But I'll figure it out. My condolence goes out to his family, his mom, his dad, his sisters, the other families, everybody involved. Laker organization, I talked to Jeannie and Linda, and people here are hurting, especially in this organization. You know, some people have to get treatment, and some people just don't understand, because it hit all of us out of nowhere. I didn't want to believe it. I said to myself, I hope some butt-face made this up, and it's not true. I didn't want to believe it. But then after getting all the calls, and then you finally was concerned, it just, you know, my spirit just left my body. I just wish I could be able to say one last thing to the people that we lost, because you know, once you're gone forever, and you know, we should never take stuff like that for granted.
Statement that Charles Barkley released on the passing of Kobe Bryant. He says, quote, "First, I want to express my deepest condolences to the families and friends of all 9 people killed in this tragedy. I really want to emphasize that in remembrance of the other 7 people involved. For me, this is like losing a family member. To lose Kobe and his daughter Gianna, basketball is a close-knit fraternity, and I'm just sad, really sad. My thoughts and prayers are with Vanessa and their girls, the Lakers family, and every basketball fan around the world." The warm-up is back. Earlier this evening, we had the pleasure of speaking with our friend Kenny the Jet Smith and his relationship with Kobe Bryant. Let's listen. We'd like to get to Kenny the Jet Smith, who is joining us now live. Kenny, we appreciate you joining us under these circumstances, and we extend our condolences to you and your family as well.
Yeah, same with you guys. This is the NBA family. This is an NBA loss. You know, obviously, it's tragic, you know, hearing the news about Kobe, but then it became horrific when we hear about his daughter and her friends and teammates and all of those things that's going on, and their families. I just think that it's, you know, a deep loss just in general for everyone that's involved.
It certainly is, and today the NBA made an announcement, Kenny, that they are postponing the Lakers-Clippers game tomorrow. They will announce the date, the future date, in the future, and I was curious if you had ever seen anything like this before. I don't recall the NBA ever postponing a game aside from a natural disaster or something that eliminated the possibility of even playing in the arena.
Yeah, I think it's the same. We've all, you know, I think gone through the same thing. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this. I think it's a protocol that was definitely needed. I live here in Los Angeles. I was trying to wrap my head around, Stephanie, like, and guys, like, going to the arena tomorrow. Like, and for me, it hits a little differently in this regard. You know, I never played with Kobe. You know, we've obviously had a lot of interactions, but, you know, but the difference is, like, my AAU basketball teams, we practice at the Mamba Center. So I'm in the Mamba Center, you know, 10, 12 times a month. You know, my kids see him, his teams, you know, playing. You know, the route that he was, you know, he's flying over, that's the route I drive every day. His form of carpooling was a helicopter. Mine is a minivan. So, like, it's the exact same process of where we go. The actual hill that he crashed into, my son, myself, my daughters, we run that hill. It's a trail that we run to get in shape in the summer times and even in the winter times. So it's so surreal and it's so close that, you know, tomorrow I'm taking my 6th grade basketball team and practicing at the Mamba Center. Like, possibly. It's hard to wrap my head around.
Kenny, you know, it's so much, and, you know, like you said, the NBA families, we've lost so much. Can you just kind of put in words? We know the impact he had as a player, but you're close to him as far as what he had, the impact he had on youth sports for young men and young ladies. Can you kind of put that into words?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Everyone's asking me, like, what's my memory of Kobe? And it's really as a father. Like, I like, out of the – because, Steve, you have sons that play. Mm-hmm. Like, we know that the odds of making the NBA or playing college basketball are slim. You're really only doing it to spend time with your kids. And then you're taking on other kids. Like we both have done, you've done, I'm doing. Like, you're taking on other kids and their responsibility just to spend time with your kids. And that's for a guy who is in the position that he's in. And you know, I'm not even saying us, that he's in. Mm-hmm. He could have hired the guy that trained him. He could, you know, but you're doing it as a parent. So I think everyone understands the draining part of it, who's a soccer mom, a team mom, or the coach of a dad coach. We all understand what he was doing yesterday, and we go, damn, that's us. Like, he's doing what we do. Kobe Bryant is he's dumbing down to do what we do. But in actuality, he's doing it in a Mamba fashion. He's like, no, I'm going to be the best AAU youth coach there could possibly be, and I'm going to do it with my daughter. And that's what I'm thinking of about him, Steve and Stephanie and guys, that just takes it to another level.
Ken and Sam Mitchell here, man. You talking about Kobe as a father. I have 4 daughters. But the player, the guy that we saw in the court, and you know this, Kenny, when we first came in the league and Kobe first came, MJ, the criticism that they was too single-minded, no one can play with him. And then people just, think about that. I laugh all the time how people used to kill MJ and Kobe. But then when you look at what made them special, and then you hear people talk about it, Kenny, you played, Smitty played, I played, you have to have a certain selfishness to be great. And the thing that I respect about him, he did that during his playing career, but like as you said, he had transitioned into being a father. Talk about the two, and then talk about how difficult it is to go from being Kobe Bryant, the superstar, to being Kobe Bryant, the superstar dad.
Yeah, you think about that, Sam. Like, I was talking to Mark Jackson, who I grew up with, and we were talking today earlier, and I said to him, I said, what makes him interesting, you know, we're not saying he's a perfect person, but we're saying the great things that he did them greater than we could do. The sacrifices that he made, and we've all either seen, heard, been next to, or talked about as in those NBA locker rooms. Kobe sacrifices this to do that. There are other great players who've been great that would not sacrifice that to be great. And that's what makes you different. That's why you have the outpour of respect and love for in the NBA community, because he's doing things, Sam and Steve, that you were all-star, Steve, that you're like, man, I don't know if I give that up to be that great. You know, we've all thought about it. Like, man, he's doing that. And he was doing it at 17, 18, 19 years old and saying, like, no, I'm not going to enjoy the spoils of it. So when we talk about Mamba mentality, he has a mentality that now was bleeding into being a dad, a superstar dad. And he's like, and at least visually, like, we were seeing now his family. He's like, all these years it's been about me, and now I'm going to try to make it about my family. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like, when Gigi, unfortunately, when she passed yesterday as well, that wasn't the first time 90% of us had seen her face.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of superstar players that I would not, if their kids something happened to, God forbid, I would not know who they are. We knew who Gigi was. It wasn't a surprise to see her face. And that's the difference about the transition that you're talking about, Sam, that I know that you do with your daughters, and one of your daughters work at TNT, and like Steve, your kids, I see them all the time and going to college. Like, we understand what that feels like. And that's what makes it so horrific for us personally, because we know what we have to sacrifice to even get those moments.
Kenny, you mentioned Kobe as a teenager when he was a rookie in the NBA. It was your last season. I'm curious what your initial impression was of him as a player, and what were the veterans around the league saying about the young Kobe Bryant?
Relentless. Like, at first came in, it was like, man, I never seen a guy that, he's like a little too obsessed. Like, I used to go, like, what do you mean? He's obsessed. Like, he doesn't do things just to be great. He's doing something to be the greatest. And we used to laugh about stuff like that. Like, yo, he came in at midnight, and he didn't have a basketball, so he imagined, so he imagined himself with a ball, and he was shooting without a ball. Stories that you go, no, there's no balls. If I can't get in, the lockers run. I'm going home. Like, you're saying, Steve, like, you go to the gym, the ball rack is locked up. You're like, I'm not shooting tonight. Not him. Like, those are the kind of stories you would hear, and you go, man, this guy has something that, yeah, we heard Mike might be like that too. Or guys would say, that's about it. No one else.
Kenny, we appreciate your time so much. Thank you for joining us here on the warm-up again. Our condolences, and wish you a better night tonight.
Yes, and I'm guys and Steve, and as we go, you guys are there 2 hours, Stephanie. Second hour come, let's start to celebrate and not mourn as much, because we can celebrate what he's has done. Like I said, we're not saying he's a perfect person, and none of us are, but we're saying that he was a Mamba in the areas of being great in those areas. He was a Mamba.
True. So
that's
true,
it, Kenny. Thanks, man.
I like that's the warm-up.